Hello everyone, today's video is for all our friends who gave the May 2023 exams and we can say are a few months away from getting their coveted CA tag. You guys did give the best that you had, but unfortunately ICI had some other plans. So what do we do now? This is a point where probably everything kind of becomes a very blur and we don't really make sense of what can we change, what should you do, what should you not do. Well, at best I can probably try to guide you in what I think is the best. Maybe you can take a few days, maybe this week off, kind of get your act in order. And there are a few things which I would suggest you should ideally try to do during the course of this week. What you should avoid doing to the extent possible. And what can you change? The all important question that we keep on getting after every question, after every exam is what can we change in the next attempt versus our earlier attempt. So it is important that you at least ask yourself that question, because then you're introspecting and you're looking for improvements, which is the first point in getting in the right direction. So what do we do? Well, to start with, I would strongly recommend that you prepare a study plan and you break down that study plan. Keep it realistic. Don't make it very, very ambitious. Keep it realistic. Maybe have a broad overall monthly plan, break it down into weekly plans, and then eventually once things set up into daily schedule. We will even guide and if possible try to put further videos as well for study plans. But for the timing, I would say that probably at least put some effort in understanding how many weeks, months, days you have. The results this time around came a little early and hence it gives you a little more lead time to be positive, to kind of get those additional marks for which you might have fallen short. So ensure that you probably try to make a study plan, study schedule, depending on the time that you have, the office commitments, other commitments, and how much time can you exclusively devote towards your CA preparation. A lot of questions have been asked that this would potentially become the last attempt. This is rather the last attempt under the existing scheme. So will the institute have a tougher paper, a tougher result? What happened the last time? I would humbly kind of beg to you not to get into this analysis. Neither me, neither you, no one. And I kind of believe that even the institute would not go into that marks reduction, marks addition, etc. You can try to focus on factors which are within your control. In my opinion, it does not really matter whether it is a last attempt, first attempt, middle attempt. It is, people are going to go in the May 24 into the new scheme. So there is no reason why there should be an artificial inflation or an artificial reduction in your marks or your results. Anything that happens on those lines is pure speculation. You are investing your time in something which has kind of no merit, no science. So please refrain from that. It is very natural for you to kind of go back and see the trend. It does not really matter now. Different attempts would have different results. Different elective papers sometimes are difficult and easy. You are not going to be able to kind of predict, unless you are sitting on the chair of the ICI's president, on what is probably going on or what will happen. But what we know as a certain fact is students who are going to work hard, students who are going to give their best, are in all likelihood, there will be students who are going to pass. So why are we putting ourselves into the bucket that, well, the results will be tough or easy? Whatever be the results, if we give our best, it is quite certain that we should get the rewards. And even if you look at this attempt and earlier attempts, there have been students who have kind of persisted, who have kind of toiled hard, fought against the odds, and who have cleared even after multiple attempts. So there is absolutely no reason for you to go into that tangent on what the ICI is probably going to do, because this is the last attempt. Please refrain from all those speculations, discussions and everything that goes in that. We will hope, fair and pray that the results would be fair, irrespective of whether this is a last attempt, first attempt or any other attempt. Second, we would try to introspect and improve. Now, what happens over here is, and this is human nature, this is natural, I would not really say that there is anything wrong. There's a lot of, if something goes right, we always take the credit. When it goes wrong, we always, including me, would try to kind of put the blame on someone. Maybe the institute, maybe the tough exams, maybe the correction pattern, whatever it is. This is an uncontrollable factor. There are a lot of things which are changing and institute is also trying to work in the right direction. So please refrain from kind of thinking that I have done, however, this should not have been done in a particular way. I don't think that is going to really kind of really help you at this stage. More so if you try to introspect and more so try to improve. If we ask ourselves that, okay, well, you know what, maybe there was something which is there in the external environment, which is there not just in this exam. When I qualify, even then there would be external factors within which I will have to operate to my peak efficiency and get the desired result, not just in the CA exam, with everything in life. So it is more important that you kind of introspect and accept that you are also human. You might have made certain mistakes. You might have not dedicated enough time to a particular subject. You might not have done enough pen and paper. You might have just done some selective reading. Maybe, I'm just saying maybe. So what can I do? What did I do wrong? Maybe spend just half an hour. Ask yourself, just have a flashback and see what could you have potentially improved. Given a choice, if you were taken 4 months back, what would you have done slightly differently? Maybe with a positive mindset, try to kind of improvise, and we will also try to discuss on what we can potentially change if possible. Again, there's no magic formula. However, it is very important you kind of, so you're going into that aspect where you're not saying that, okay, well, you know what, even if I'm going to study, I'm not going to clear. That is not the case. People who have studied have cleared. You also have studied, maybe you are just a few months away. So if we kind of keep that momentum, keep that mindset, I'm very sure you are just a few months away from getting your kind of charter, your degree. A very important consideration which affects a lot of students, where there is again no clear answer, no one other than you can decide the best, is should I go for one group, should I go for two groups? There is no clear answer. It depends on what, how much score you have, how much have you worked, what limitations or what strengths do you think you have in your preparation. Having said that, the thumb rule, again the thumb rule, this does not apply to everyone uniformly, but the thumb rule is if your gap is more than, let us say, 10 to 15%. So maybe if you have given two groups and you have scored, let's say 350 or less, it is slightly difficult, again not impossible, but slightly difficult for you to cover up the entire 10-15% with 4 months of 3 or 4 months of preparation. So might as well, to get your momentum right, to focus on the subject, maybe you can give one group. However, if you have scored 380, 390, maybe in the 370s as well, if you have given, let us say, both groups, I would say there is a very strong chance if you kind of put all your efforts, you can get those 20-30 marks additionally. There is again no right and no wrong. What is important is you take a decision, maybe take a few months. Do not consult 20 different people. Everyone is entitled to and will have a different take, and none of them are right and none of them are wrong. There's no right and wrong over here. If you genuinely and truly believe that you want to give two groups or you want to focus on one group, what I'm just requesting you to do is take a firm decision. You are going to get the fruits of your decisions and you are going to kind of be responsible for probably wrong judgments. So kind of take ownership. Take a firm decision and stick to it. Then during the course, don't keep on just going back and forth. Otherwise, the time that you can actually devote into actual studies and preparations is going in the one group versus two group debate. So if you believe that you are fairly close to your score and you can kind of put those efforts and in a few months kind of bridge that gap, then might as well go for both groups. Otherwise, there is absolutely no harm, zero problem in giving one group at a time. There is no one or nothing which kind of prevents you from giving one group, then giving the other group, and in the larger scheme of things, you are a chartered accountant after maybe a few more months. So you can take your decision, you can take your time, you can probably consult people, listen to them, but at the end of the day, take a decision by the end of this week and stick to it. Do not keep on going back and forth, even in the month of August, that should I give one group or two groups. If you have decided now, plan, execute, depending on what you have decided. Again, a lot of talk that I've been hearing is, sir, two of our subjects are reducing, so we will skip the November 23 attempt and we will give the May 24 attempt. Please don't lose the steam. Don't lose the momentum. The iron is hot right now. Don't lose that. I mean, yes, you might have to study a subject or two extra, but well, you have already studied it. So if you have decided that you have prepared fairly well, do not skip the attempt merely with kind of the lure of studying one or two subjects lesser. In any case, if you clear studying that one or two extra subjects, so be it. You are going to be probably the last breed of students who have cleared with all the 8 attempts, or all the 8 subjects. So, I mean, embrace those subjects and kind of study for that. I'm saying, okay, if you kind of want, if there are some other reasons for which you have to shift to May 24, no problem. But merely because you will study 2 lesser subjects deep within you, you don't want to study them, and hence you are postponing to May 24, that is what I would suggest is not the right thing. Forget about that. You'll say, chalo, theek hai, we will study, we have already studied, execute, and kind of, in all likelihood, clear November 23 as the last batch of students who have given kind of all the 8 papers and cleared. So, do not postpone merely with the lure of giving 2 less subjects. Now, the most common question would be, sir, what can I change? Now, to be honest, we have kind of outlined a few things, but there is no magical answer. It is important that you ask yourself that question and make small, subtle and impactful changes. But remembering the fact that there is no single person who is going to be able to give you that solution, because there is no single solution for this. What we can essentially, from our experience, kind of say is, well, more of pen and paper practice, especially if I focus on the practical subjects. A lot of students read sums instead of solving sums, maybe due to time constraints, maybe due to some level of overconfidence, whatever be it. At least dedicate more time to do a proper pen and paper practice. Maybe what has costed you a lot is not your lack of concepts, but translating them into pen and paper, because you've not done a lot of pen and paper. You've probably copied a wrong probability. You've probably copied a wrong given input. You have kind of not given the double entry properly. So more pen and paper kind of helps you better in ways which are not tangible. You will not see it. However, if you do more pen and paper, you can tangibly, over the course of time, you will see a marked improvement. It will never happen overnight. It is like when you go to a gym, if you see yourself in the mirror for 5 days, nothing is going to change. But after 5 months, 5 years, you will see a completely different, transformed, let us say, personality. So, I'm saying be consistent, try to do more of pen and paper rather than just reviewing. Again, for theory, you can try to, maybe you can check with the theory experts on this, but you can probably write a few answers and kind of understand how well you can present them. Focus more on full coverage over selective learning. Institute's papers have been, to some extent, unpredictable, and as a result, a lot of trend analysis or a lot of important analysis, everyone, including I would say even I give out, because I mean something is important, something is less important. But at the end of the day, if you ask most of the students who have kind of cleared, a lot of them would say that, well, you know what, we focused more on parts which are more important, but we did not leave out and let go of the parts which are relatively less important. We kind of read through everything. So rather than selective learning and focusing only on, if something has come, business combination has come in the last attempt, will not come this attempt. No, please don't go into that territory. There have been instances where the same sum has been repeated attempt after attempt. So we don't do those trend analysis. Might as well you invest that time that you focus on the trend analysis into probably studying more sums. Every minute is crucial. Every hour is crucial. You kind of tell yourself that, okay, this is going to get me a minute closer, an hour closer to my desired goal. Let that passion run within you, and it will. I know it's a little difficult at this point. It is very easy to say, and rather than being in one's position, I fully acknowledge that. But well, you know what? You have to get yourself out of that hole and give your best shot. And then when you look back to your to what you have achieved, you will really feel proud of yourself. So focus more on the full coverage part. Not just in our subjects, in every subject. Try to do the entire course. You will probably learn more, and if a difficult paper comes, you are going to be able to attempt. Again, when you're studying, we say we should focus on concepts. What do we mean when we say focus on concepts? What does focusing on concepts essentially mean? It means that when you're studying, you ask yourself the question why. You ask your tutors the question why. You figure out, okay, if a particular adjustment is done in this way, why is this done in this way? If this information was not available, then how would we have solved? Okay, if some other information was available, how would we do it? Create those scenarios in your mind. That is when your mind maps develop. That is when the concept gets built. Doing the same sum probably 20 times is memorization. Understanding better would entail asking yourself a lot of questions which are linked to why. Why was a particular adjustment done? What would happen if this information was missing? What would happen if some other alternative scenario was given? So try to focus on that level of concept building. Well, the next 2 points, focus a lot on your writing practice. A lot of students know a lot of stuff, but again, even I had a fairly slow writing speed. So try to write more tests. Mock tests, again the question would be which test institute series. You can decide, if you can ask your friends, they would be the best judge because they have the best experience. Otherwise, download the last few papers of the institute and write those papers. Broadly compare them with the suggested answers as well to get your understanding. The marks that you get are not going to be as important as the writing practice, the time management, those skills that develop. Again, different students, different people react to pressure differently. If, let us say, you have completed 1.5 hour your exam and you have 70 marks remaining, probably your mind will blank out. We don't want that situation. We want to kind of cover up that writing speed. We want to manage our time. We want to say that, okay, 1.8 minutes per marks, 5 mark question 9 minutes, 10 mark question 18 minutes. We want to get that into our system running. We want to focus on that. So writing more tests, solving more test papers is the way. So that gives you more test practice. If you know a good test series institute, maybe go with them. If not, write the institute main exam, not necessarily mocks, main exams that have gone by. Maybe the November 22, maybe the May 22 exams. Download and write them. When do we write them? Well, once you're done with the revision of one subject, take a time of, let's say, 8 to 11 and then write it down. If you get a person who can kind of give you feedback, nothing like it. If not, you be that person, compare to the suggested answers and kind of learn what you could have done slightly better. Again, at the end, a positive mindset and the fire in the belly. Again, I would say that it's easier said than done. However, getting that, this persistence, the ability to stand up against all odds is what you want. This course teaches you. A lot of these things are going to really help you in the due course. Things would not be the best as of now for you, but every season changes, and so will ours. So ensure that you kind of keep that passion running. Keep that kind of thing going every minute, every hour. You utilize what has happened in the past has happened. It is just a memory right now, which you want to kind of override it by another much more pleasant and a better memory, which you will get in few months from now. Again, probably motivation can kind of start the wheels for you, but it is discipline, it is consistency. Day after day, week after week, minute after minute, sticking to your kind of objectives and giving your best results. In this process, if you need any of our help, if you want any of some guidance which I can additionally provide, I would be happy to assist you. You can kind of try to reach out to us as well. But this is kind of what I wanted to kind of communicate with you, and probably I've taken a lot of your time, but I hope this has been helpful for you. Please get back, probably take this week off, get things in order. What is done, and then get back to your books. Respect them, pray to them, and go for it. Bye-bye. See you in a few days with more probably revision videos and more stuff. Bye-bye. Take care.